I lost $320,000, not because I got scammed, but because I made dumb decisions. If you're trying to grow fast and skip the pain, I hope this video saves you. Here's the 5 worst investments I've ever made and what I do differently. So the first dumb investment I ever made was over $100,000 that I spent on learning how to buy and flip drop shipping stores. Now, one of two things will usually happen. Either you're going to, in the beginning of your business, have shiny object syndrome because you're broke, and so every single opportunity you see, you're gonna try to chase, or you're gonna get to a higher level in business and you're gonna get really comfortable, and then because the business is no longer growing, you start looking in other directions when in reality, you just need to dive deeper into the business. So for me, I was at over $2 million per month hitting my accounts, but I couldn't figure out how to scale the business. And I won't go into why all those issues were, that's for another video, but the business was stalling and I could not figure out what to do. So I saw one of my friends, he actually dabbles in a lot of things. And one of the things I saw was him posting about, hey, I just bought this store and I flipped it for $250 or $500,000 or whatever the number was. And it was a lot of money. And I remember looking at that and saying, I was like, yeah, I could definitely do that. So I wired over $100,000. And he started teaching me, what to do and what to say and all this type of stuff. And I think after a few weeks, I quickly learned that this was gonna take a lot more time than I think I was ready to actually put into the venture. And I started to realize, hey, this is pulling focus off my main business. And as it pulled focus off my main business, that revenue started to drop. And this revenue didn't really go anywhere because you have to put a lot of time and effort into getting stuff moving. So think of it this way. If you're moving a boulder up a hill, the beginning is gonna be the hardest. Once it's actually moving, it gets a lot easier. And so it would have been a lot easier to take my current business and try to fix that, right? Versus starting something completely different. Because then what it did is I took my eye off the current business, the revenue started to go down, like I said, and this business, it wasn't even getting off the ground because I had to put in probably 10 times more effort to get things to start to move. So overall, that was not a great investment for me. And I wouldn't say that he necessarily scammed me or, tried to scam me or whatever word you want to throw out there, but I didn't have the time and effort and energy to put into that business to get it off the ground. And when this business is already doing $2 million a month and this business is doing 0, maybe it does, 100,000 a month or whatever I can get to, it's not worth the trade-off. And so that was a terrible investment I made because I had shiny object syndrome. But as crazy as it sounds, that wasn't even the dumbest investment I made. The next stupidest investment was investing over $50,000 for a 2-day in-person meetup with a YouTube coach who actually has worked with Mr. Beast. And so I thought, oh my gosh, this guy's worked with Mr. Beast. He's gonna absolutely blow up my channel. And when I went there, I had very high hopes, but as we sat down, all we really did for the majority of the time was talk about who I wanted to go after, so kind of basic stuff for me, avatar, what's my offer, who do I want to attract? And then we spent the rest of the time just looking at top YouTube videos and then breaking those videos down. And it wasn't that it was bad, it wasn't that it wasn't helpful necessarily, but for $50,000, I was expecting a little bit more over 2 days. And so after we went through all of it, it was kind of the stuff that's been repeated to me over the years. So what you'll notice is as you hire different coaches and consultants, it's not always that it's a bad use of time and investment. It's just that you've heard the same thing probably 7 times, and after a while you start to learn there's no secret sauce. There's nothing that's just gonna magically blow up your YouTube channel or blow up your Instagram. It's consistent effort over time and then adjusting based off the feedback from the statistics. And so when we went there and we looked at different YouTubers' videos, I was a little underwhelmed because I've been shown this before for less money. And so it was kind of a reminder, you kind of need to go back to the basics and you got to put more work in versus looking for a new hack or a new trick or a new skill. So after $50,000 was invested there and over 2 days, nothing really new was learned. That, in my opinion, was a very bad investment. But because I've invested in so many coaches, I've actually gotten suckered into even more promises. So go back to 2017, this was years ago when I was trying to start building my business. Something that I wish I had done different was invest more into organic content, into building a brand, into YouTube videos, stuff that I'm doing more now. But at that time, I was 100% ads. And the cool thing about ads is when they work, you can make a ton of money. But if they ever stop working or they're not as effective, you won't make as much. And so I was going full tilt on ads, but at that time, I couldn't get them to work. But I knew that was the fastest path for me to go from broke to rich without building a brand over the long haul. And so I invested in over 5 more coaches at about $10,000 a piece, so $50,000 in the hole. Now people will ask, how did I come up with that money? I was making $20,000 to $30,000 a month organically, but I was working my ass off. I was sending messages, 10 to 12 hours a day, working 16 hours, had no life, had no girlfriend, had no car. Like I was living at my parents' house in a really small bedroom. It just was not a good time for me. And I invested in these coaches, and every single coach was like, yeah, like I'll definitely help you to fix the ads. And I do want to say this, now that I'm on the other side of coaching and consulting, it's not 100% on the coach. Like it's really on you to make it work. But the thing that I put on myself is that I let them kind of dupe me into it or tell me they could fix my ads, when in reality, they were just showing me the same stuff that the other coaches showed me. And after 5 times, I said, okay, like for whatever reason, my stuff isn't working. I have to figure this out on my own. And my dad came to me and said, Tanner, you know, if you stop paying these coaches, you'd be a lot richer. Because what would happen is I'd make money from organic messaging, put a lot of time and effort into my business. I would then pay the coach, so I'd send over $10,000 or $15,000, whatever it was, and then I would lose the money that I was working so hard for. My dad said, you're basically in the same spot 6 months later. If you would just hold on to that cash, you'd actually be richer. And I will say this, although I am telling you about stories where I've lost a lot of money, there's nothing that imprints more on your brain than making a bad decision of what not to do. And knowing what not to do is just as helpful as knowing what to do. But as bad as that sounds, the worst hack came from something that I thought would change everything. So over the years, I've been in business for about 7 years. My Instagram has gone down a few times. And the reason I think it goes down is, you know, I have theories. I don't know if this is true, but you know, I'm messaging someone and someone reports my profile or someone says something negative. I actually had one time someone said, I'm going to your mom. I don't want to say this on YouTube because I don't want to get the video get taken down, but he says, I'm going to your mom. And it got my profile banned when I shared it to my story. I was like, dude, this guy is crazy. And so to get it back, I would usually go to a middleman who usually they will know a rep at Instagram or Facebook, and those people will never make it public because they could lose their jobs. But they'll go to that person, you pay them, let's say 5 or 10 grand, and then they will say, oh, I'll fix it. But in reality, they don't tell you this. They're a middleman. They give a portion to the person at Instagram or Facebook, and they will flip your account back on. And although I've had some experiences where it worked out, I've had a lot of experiences where it hasn't, because as a middleman, they don't actually have any control. So they'll overpromise, but then they can't actually deliver. And so because you're going to a middleman, they'll say, oh yeah, I'll get your Facebook fixed, or I'll get your Instagram fixed. It's $10,000. They'll keep 5. They'll give 5 to the person at Facebook and Instagram. And then for whatever reason, they may not be able to get the account back, and they don't want to refund you, right? Because they're already out the money, and they'd actually have to give the money they made to the Instagram rep. So they'd actually go back to 0 because they gave 5 to the Instagram rep. They have to give 5 back to you, and then they have to come up with 5. So they actually would lose money. And I've just had a lot of bad experiences with that. Now I actually know how to go directly to the reps. It's a little bit of a gray area market, so I can't publicly, you know, tell you who it is or like show you my sheets. Those are for my internal clients. But that has absolutely been one of the worst investments I made. So my advice to you is, if you ever have an issue with Instagram or Facebook, try to go directly to the source. Find someone who can get you in that league with those individuals, because if you're going through a middleman, they might overpromise and underdeliver more times than not. Now, last but not least, the dumbest investment I've ever made was putting $100,000 into a crypto fund. Now, I'm not against crypto. I'm not really for crypto. I think for most people, it's not a good use of time, because you're having to spend a lot of time and energy learning a new market, but that time is better spent invested into stuff that you actually know you can print you cash. And so for me, what I did is I had a couple friends. They showed me a crypto fund that was making a lot of returns, 10% per month, which is pretty crazy. Most returns are 10% per year. And the money went in, and then of course they rug pulled. And the thing I don't like about crypto right now is it's very unregulated. It's very easy to go into a crypto fund, have some returns. They'll show you great returns for 3 to 6 months, and then they will pull the rug and they'll keep all the money because it's unregulated by the federal government. And so the thing that I've learned is stay in your lane. Learn one thing. If you want to expand in your free time, great. But more times than not, going away from what's making you money and then putting your time and effort into things that are not making you money, it's not a good use of time unless you're 100% switching. So if I'm going from the info market space and I want to go 100% into tech, okay, great. That makes sense because it has maybe a longer potential or higher ceiling. But to do a little bit of both at the same time is definitely not worth the squeeze. So I lost over $320,000, but I gained over $100 million in wisdom. The cool thing is mistakes are tuition. So just make sure you learn from mine instead of paying your own. Now, if you're ready to turn those hard lessons into a smarter, longer term brand, especially if you're confused about niching, then click here to watch that video.